Good news is those 5 people have been treated at the hospital and released. So those injuries are minor, which is a miracle considering this huge court right here in the middle of an apartment complex across the street from the university. Police say was filled with about 1,000 people. They say 16 shots were fired, and police tell me that about half of those shell casings were found right near where I'm standing. This used to be the DJ booth. The other half of the shell casings were found down at the end by where we're parked. That's about 50 yards away. So police say they are so thankful that this wasn't worse. It all happened just before 2 a.m. Fortunately, there was actually a deputy nearby who heard those shots fired. Police say at this time they believe the shooting was targeted and that those 5 people hit were the intended targets of this shooting and that the public at large is not in danger. But they say it was incredibly chaotic with about 1,000 people here partying, likely celebrating a football game that had just happened at the university across the street. This is an apartment complex where a lot of students live, but they say that those 5 victims are not students at the university, and they do not believe that the shooter is a student at the university either. And in fact, talking to the sheriff, though, when he heard that call first come in, that shots were fired right near campus, it was a terrifying call.
Well, I was sick to my stomach when I got that call this morning at 2 o'clock, knowing that a lot of the parties, we had a game, SVSU had a football game tonight, home game, and so knowing that there would be a lot of people celebrating, my worst fears were that we had several students that were involved, but thank God there were no students injured. There were students here. We've talked to a lot of people, but again, this could have been much worse. 16 rounds fired into that crowd, 5 people struck. Again, non-life-threatening injuries, and they've already been released. So, that's the best news I've heard so far tonight.
That is good news. As you can see, all around me are remnants of that massive party last night. We've also seen a number of partygoers returning to the scene looking for their cell phones and other belongings. Police say it was really chaotic when those shots were fired. Those 1,000 people just made a run for this one point of exit. So it was a mass exodus of sorts. They're really, really happy that there were no other injuries. At this time, they are looking for a suspect, and they are investigating the possibility that this is gang related. There was a shooting that happened before this one and a shooting that happened not too long afterwards that they think might possibly be connected. At this point, all they know for sure is that those 5 victims are okay and that they are looking for a suspect, a man being described as a black man with dreadlocks and bleached tips to those dreadlocks in his early 20s. And if you have any information on that shooter, you can call Crime Stoppers if you'd like to remain anonymous, or call 911 and talk to police directly. I'm reporting live here in Saginaw. Jennifer Ann Wilson, 7 Action News.